Hey everyone, after a little bit of time delay, we're back in T.O.'s garage working on Old Delicious, our 53 Chevy shop truck. And despite the delay, I haven't been able to accomplish a few things, so I'm gonna catch you up on those things now. Since we mounted the radiator and mocked up the truck bed and the running boards in the last video, I've been able to put the steering column in place and put in some joints to get us around the headers and into the steering box there. To do that, I had to open the hole in the firewall that was there for the original straight steering column, because this motor is obviously a little bit wider than the straight 6 that was in there. And looking from the inside, you can see I just built a little plate to help support and guide the steering column. It's then going to bolt to the underside of the dash there, and it's a tilt steering wheel. It has a little more tilt than it should have. Probably can't do that while holding the camera, but it does drop down. Steering wheel's just set in place there. And while I'm in here, I also managed to fab in some pedals, because if you'll notice, we've got an original clutch hole there, a brake hole there, and throttle pedal there. We needed to move them over because this transmission's a little bit bigger. So grabbed a set of pedals out of an S10, just like the donor truck that we use for the frame, and we mounted that here under the dash and then up at the firewall. It'll be good support for the firewall and the dash. These pedals are they'll be super solid there. So we got that in place. I think I talked about the seat. We gotta get reupholster, but it's rough mounted. Nice rattle can door there. Now let's talk about once I was able to get the steering column mounted, headers are in place, and I rough located the accessories, I could work on these inner fenders. And so had to make some relief cuts to get over the A-arms that weren't there on the original truck. Put a support in there down to the frame. Had to relieve the lower part of the fender around the frame. It's the same on this passenger side. Made some relief for the AC. There it is for the alternator. And then I think I also relieved a little bit for the headers. Just did some sheet metal bending to get them to fit in there well. So that was just a process of guess and check. Used my plasma cutter and came in handy. Cuts that sheet metal like butter. So there's the plasma cutter and the grinders, cut off grinder, welder, and I'll show you these. This is how I kind of stepped into the plate that goes under or around the steering column. This is a cardboard piece, and I fit that in there, and then I built a metal piece, and then I changed my mind. I ended up doing a full perimeter and putting a hole down through the middle of that ended up supporting that better and covering more of the firewall. So that works. Alright. And then in this next video I'll talk about the accessories.